course I didn't. Okay, now we're recording. All right, so I'm going to let Ashley take it from here.
All right, thank you, Megan. And sorry, I look a mess. Sometimes I go on these calls and I see presenters like get all dressed up and their hair is curled. And I had the intention of doing that, but it just didn't happen. So yes, Megan asked me to redo this call. I did it last year and I don't think I used slides. I just kind of shared my screen the whole time. So tonight I threw together some slides with one hand while I was holding the baby. So they're not the fanciest or best slides, but yes, I have been very busy the first year of my business. But I just had a baby and now I'm in a transition and I'm finding that it's harder for me to get things done with more time. I feel like I was more successful and efficient when I was busier. So people who say, oh, I do all these things, I'm busy, that's not a good excuse because you can really be disciplined and get into a good routine. So let me share my screen. All right, so these are my tips, what I do, and then some things I have sprinkled in from some of the things that my coaches on my team do. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. These are all the things I'm going to go over quickly. And then as you think of things, write them down because at the end, I want to have a little group share because sharing is caring. So prep and planning. I live by this quote, proper planning prevents poor performance. So it's all about what you do and how you plan and prepare before you actually execute. So it's really important that you set weekly routines and hours. We all know that we have to do that power hour, and sometimes it's a good idea to do it at the same time every day, right? So early in the morning or on your lunch break or at night when you put your kids to bed. But in addition to the power hour, as you grow your business, there are other things you're going to have to do. And so I always followed the same schedule. So I would create my challenge group content typically on Saturdays for the following week, and then I would schedule it through Hootsuite on Sundays. And I did that every single weekend. Now, some coaches will schedule their challenge group content for the whole month in advance, but I don't really like to do that because I like to get a feel for the challengers. So some groups love to post sweaty selfies and they love to share recipes, and then other groups of challengers don't like to do those things. So if I schedule all of these posts and they all flop, then that's kind of a waste of my time. So I do it week by week to see how my challengers are responding, and then I react to that. And I'll show you how I plan my challenge groups content in a moment. I would have a specific time during the week that I created images. So images that I wanted to use for challenge group advertisements or coaching opportunity advertisements, or for challenge groups like within my group. Specific times to write blog posts. So Katie is like the master blogger of our group, but I've been trying to dabble in it. But it's really important that if you're going to blog, you're going to be consistent with it. So setting out a specific time each week to do that is important, and then sending and responding to messages. And so what I do is I do each of these with very laser focus. I do not get distracted. So it's very easy for those notifications to pop up and for you to be like, oh, someone just responded to my photo, or someone just responded in my challenge group, or someone just sent me a message, and to stop what you're doing and go look at that. But I ignore all notifications. I don't turn them off, and I know a lot of the most successful coaches actually turn off their notifications. I keep them on, but I just ignore them. Because then I kind of see them and I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to get myself into later. But I have a specific time that I will check into my challenge group, and I'll check into that group all day long. I typically only check in at lunchtime and at nighttime, around 9 o'clock at night. And I only check my messages once to maybe twice a day, because you could literally get wrapped up in talking to people on Messenger all day long and not get anything else done. And yes, talking to people and building those relationships and explaining the programs and the products is really important, but you don't have to spend all day doing that. You know, there are other things that you need to be doing. So when I am doing one task, I am doing that task only. I'm not dabbling and multitasking and going back and forth. Another good tip is on Sunday or on Saturday or whatever day you want is to do a mind dump. Write down all of the things that you have to do that week. Scheduling posts or creating content or creating new coach announcements or rank advancement announcements, right? We kind of have an idea of who's going to rank advance that week before Thursday hits. So you can kind of put that on your to-do list. So make a mind dump, write down everything you're going to have to do that week, and then divide it out throughout the week. So I use an old school calendar. I like to handwrite still. And so I'll write each day what I'm going to be doing, like what tasks I have to do for Beachbody. Also, which social media posts I'm going to do. So I have those pretty much all planned out, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So in my calendar on Sunday, I will write down the social media posts that I'm going to be doing and the tasks that I need to do. And then as I complete those and post them, I scratch them out. So make sure I get everything done. Okay, so social media. If you look at businesses, they hire social media managers. And one of their jobs is to create an editorial calendar. They don't just fly by the seat of their pants and wake up and say, oh, today I'm going to post this. They pretty much have their content planned out for the entire month. And as part of that, it's actually written out and the images included. And they have that entire calendar created. So they just simply copy and paste it. So that's something to get into the habit of doing. You don't have to actually go to that extent and have it all written down and prepared, but have an idea of what you're going to post and when you're going to post it. So this is an example, and this is purely just advertising for groups. So I will sit down and I will, in my calendar, my handwritten one, will write down when I'm going to make posts that promote challenge groups, when I'm going to make posts that promote sneak peek groups, 3-day refresh groups, whatever else I'm doing. So I already know going into the month when those are going to happen. Now, in addition to this, I also have other posts in mind for my personal pages that aren't really going to promote anything. And I kind of have those all mapped out throughout the month as well. So a good habit is to get into a routine so that you're predictable. So maybe, and you don't want to do all of these, obviously, but these are some examples. So maybe every morning you post your morning workout, and that is going to build credibility. People are going to expect that from you. Every morning they're going to say, well, where's so-and-so's morning workout photo? And what's funny is I was doing this for a while and my business really picked up. And then I was like 9 months pregnant and stopped doing that, and it kind of plummeted. And now I picked it back up again. And now my business is going back up again. And people are literally messaging me. And today I went out with a few people and they were commenting and saying like, wow, I get really inspired when I see that you're up working out. So that is key. That really helps. Maybe you're posting your personal development takeaways. Sarah Kaminsky is great with posting her groceries. And Sarah today posted her CSA box, which was cool. On rest days, post your Shakeology recipe. Have your blog posts. What days are you going to be sharing blog posts? Is it every Tuesday and Thursday? Is it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? When are you going to share your weekly meal plan? On Sundays, on Mondays? Maybe for Tasty Tuesday, you share a recipe every week. Motivation Monday, Truth Time Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday. Jennifer Narula is so good at this. Every Wednesday, I love looking at her posts. She will pick a different food ingredient or all different types of things. And she provides real value that people are interested in. Throwback Thursday. So I pick a few of these and I'm consistent with when I'm going to post them. So typically in the morning, I post my workout. In the afternoon, around noon is when I post a blog post. And then in the evening, maybe a recipe or something else. Now that I have a kid, it's a little bit different. I post a lot of pictures of her. But you want to pick these and kind of stick to them. If you're predictable, people are going to know what to look for and they will continue to come to you, right? You want to build that credibility. So pre-scripted posts. This is probably my my best tip, but people kind of like are apprehensive to do this. But for working people, this is key. So I, on Sundays, would sit down and write out what I was going to post for all of my morning workouts. One for my like page, one for my personal page, every single day. I knew what workout I was going to do. I was doing the 21-day fix. Now I'm doing T25. So I know the calendar. I know in advance what I'm doing and what the struggle is going to be that day, right? I hate cardio. Or when I'm on the floor doing Pilates, my pugs are going to be all over me. So obviously I'm going to write something about that. So I would write out what I was going to post already, one for each page. So then that morning, when it was 5 o'clock in the morning, I could get up. I knew what kind of picture I had to take, and then I could just copy and paste it. And I would write these in the notes. And I still do this in the notes of my phone. So then in the morning, I could just copy and paste it. Some people are like, oh, that's not authentic, but it is authentic because you're still writing it and you know the kind of struggle you're going to be in. And some days I would have to tweak it a little bit, but that saves a lot of time. I mean, you could spend hours just sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say about this? What am I going to post? What kind of picture I'm going to take? But if you kind of plan ahead, it really makes that morning routine a little bit better. So I don't do this for every single post I ever make, but I try to really plan out the majority of my posts in advance. All right, so hashtags is another one of my time-saving tips. If you're on Instagram, when you post something, the way to get it seen is through hashtags. You can have a total of 30 hashtags per image. The trick is to post your image and in the caption, only use a few hashtags, ones that are funny, like the struggle is real or mom life. And then comment on your photo and put all the hashtags in the comments. Now, rather than sitting there every time you make a post and typing in all the hashtags, what I do is in the notes of my phone, I have all of my hashtags grouped into categories. So workout with London, workout alone, a food recipe or food hashtags, blogging hashtags, fashion hashtags. So I post the image and then I just go to my notes, I copy those hashtags and I paste them. That saves so much time because hashtags are everything on Instagram. If you don't use them, then there's no point. Nobody's going to find you or follow you. And this saves a lot of time. And then again with Instagram, post to Instagram and immediately send it to Facebook using that little Facebook button. Okay, Beachbody links and Convos. I have my Beachbody every link possible in the notes of my phone and in Google Drive, so no matter where I am, I can access them. Sample conversations, I pretty much save all of my conversations, or when I explain something really well, I save it. And I'll save it in the notes or I'll save it in Google Drive. And then when I have that same conversation again, I can just copy and paste it with a few little tweaks. So the first time you write something, copy, paste it, and save it. Save all of this conversation somewhere. That's a huge time saver rather than retyping what the 21-day fix is every time someone asks. Okay, so now I want to show you Google Drive. So I am obsessed with Google Drive, but you can use Microsoft OneDrive. It's very similar. It's whatever you want. And I think Amazon just came out with something similar as well, but I haven't looked into that. So in Google Drive, I have a Beachbody folder, and this is kind of like everything in here. But there are a few things that I want to show you. First is this 21-day fix toolkit. It's a folder, and it's a folder that I share with all my challenge groups. So the challengers have access to this, and in here I have meal planning. So I have all different types of trackers and different tools and all of my meal plans. So it's really important that you create meal plans.
Ashley, are you like actually showing it?
Yeah, are you not seeing it?
We don't see it. We're just seeing coaching tools and resources, Google Drive, and Dropbox.
What? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go to that share screen and like switch it over. I know it gets stuck.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So this is the meal planning toolkit, and it has all 21-day fix and just general meal planning resources and all of my meal plans. It's important that you create meal plans. So many coaches don't do this, and that's what challengers come to. I mean, most challengers want help with meal planning. So it's really helpful when you have examples to show them. So even if you don't follow yours to the exact T and you just like have some stuff down there so that people can get an idea, that's helpful. So then you can share that with them. And then I also have progress tracking documents in here so they can choose how they want to track their progress. Challenge group resources. These are all of my challenge group images. They're all saved in here. Anytime I find a challenge group, an image that I want to use in my challenge group, I put it there. And challenge group posts. So this is how I do my challenge groups and create the content, and I'll show you. So I create a Word document and I put my banner image in there, and then I create a table, and I have the day, what day of the challenge it is, day 5, day 7, what the topic is, what the post is, and then the image. And so I do this every month, and again, this is what I work on typically on Saturdays. So on Saturday, I'll spend about an hour at most creating the content, and then on Sunday I just copy and paste it to Hootsuite and schedule it, and then I'm done. And then once I'm done with the entire month, I upload it to this folder so that anybody can go access it when they go to run their own challenge group. So that helps. And then I recycle a lot of this. It's not like I come up with new stuff every week and every month. I go back through all my months and mix and match them. And then here is, I have a personal Beachbody folder that has all of my own stuff in here, like the content that I use for my coaching advertisements, like why become a coach, coaching invites, all the conversations that I've ever had with people, or not conversations, but the messages that I've sent. I have that all in a document here. Like page ideas. So when I see something and I think like, oh, that'll be great for my like page, I put that in that doc. And what's great about Google Drive is you can access it on any device. So it could be, you could not have Wi-Fi and you could still access it on your computer. And then when you connect to Wi-Fi, it'll automatically kind of sync to the cloud, and then you could have it on your phone. So no matter where you are, you can be updating these things. So I just have like ongoing lists in here of ideas for trainings, for posts, all different stuff. And then where's my other one? Coaching tools. I can't see it because this thing's here. There we go. Okay. And then this is what I share with my team with all different stuff that they need to know. My example emails, scripts, how to get a customer change to you, where they sign up for mentoring calls, that kind of stuff. So that's how I use Google Drive. So if you're just getting started, I highly recommend that you use something that is synced to the cloud, that you aren't saving documents on your computer. Because if your computer crashes or you happen to spill a drink, I had a friend who had a brand new MacBook and she was just saving everything to her computer. And then she happened to spill a bowl of cereal milk on her computer, and it was fried. It was completely done, and she lost all of her files. So don't make that mistake. Save to the cloud. So that's why I recommend Google Drive, but I also use Dropbox. And I don't even know, here it is. Okay, so here's my Dropbox folder. And this is more for kind of personal things that I don't really share with my team, but I have all the coach pictures in here, and then I have it broken down into other folders. There's a folder of rank advancements, there's a folder of new coach announcements. So I have those all saved in here under Dropbox. And again, Dropbox is something you can access anywhere. It syncs to the cloud. So I kind of use both. It just depends. Okay, so I think that's all I had for tonight. Google Drive, Dropbox, and then your tips. So really my tip is just being very planning ahead and trying to do as much as you can on the front end so that during the week it's much easier for you. You kind of know what you're going to be doing. Okay, so that's all I have, Megan. What does everyone else want to share? Sarah and Sarah and Jen, you guys probably have great tips.
Open floor. Anybody? Kristen Blackburn. Got a lot of quiet people tonight.
You guys can't make fun of my headphones. Can you hear me? I totally agree with, I'm not as organized as Ashley with like planning out per se, like all of my morning workout posts, but I typically on the weekend will try to come up with like 3 to 5 sort of big ideas that I want to share throughout the week. And I do the same thing. I'll make sure that I have the image saved and the content saved. And so that I know 3, 4, or 5 days out of the week, I have one big idea post and I know which days those are going to be going out. And it definitely takes the pressure off when, life gets crazy. I'm exhausted right now. I mean, I couldn't think about doing anything right now, but on Sunday I'm energized and my brain's functioning so that I'm able to do that. So I think that that's a great tip. And it's something that I definitely do too.
I take, Megan and I spoke a couple weeks ago about how I can take a like page and schedule my posts. I teach full time and I absolutely am like forbidden from being on Facebook. I still do it, but I'm forbidden from being on Facebook. And so if my administration sees, because they have people scouting our Facebook pages, see a timestamp, they're going to come and ask me about it. At least now I can show them I'm scheduling my posts. So I'll get up in the morning and I kind of split my time. I'll do a little bit in the morning and then I'll do a little bit when my boys go to bed at night. But while I'm drinking my coffee, I'll sit down and figure out, what do I want to do today? Something workout related, something meal related, something motivational, and I'll type them out. 4:30 in the morning, I'm banging them out and I'll schedule them. I'll try to get a picture at some point, or schedule to post them throughout the day. And I look at my insights. Megan showed me how to do that, to look at my insights on my like page to figure out when I'm going to get the most traffic, because I'm not going to spend my time and my energy if I'm not going to target enough people. So I look at, typically about 8 o'clock for my like page is when I'm getting a lot of traffic, when moms are, trying to drink their coffee, or they're getting to work and getting themselves situated. And then lunchtime, right before dinner, and right about now is a good time for my like page to get a lot of traffic. And that's when I try to nail my posts. And that's how I try to stay organized.
That's great for sharing, because some people just don't have that ability at work to even like access anything with Facebook or Google Drive or whatever, because I know there's limitations at some places of work. But excuse me, if you do have the ability where you guys can like sneak away and do a post or whatever, definitely take advantage of that, because I will tell you, going through outside third-party schedulers, Facebook kind of like frowns upon it, because they will take that and not give you as much visibility and not give you as much exposure. Now, they did do this thing. They were doing it for a little while, but they took it away, where they were letting us schedule our posts on our personal pages, but they did away with it. It was very temporary. And I don't know why they did that. It was like a tease. We could do it, but we could also do it with our challenge groups. And it was very temporary, and they did away with it. So I don't know what the deal was with that. Kind of annoying, because, and then they told us you can't use Hootsuite, you can't use any of these other third-party groups. And they said we started using their scheduler, and then all of a sudden they must have like come to some agreement with these third-party. I'm sure they have to pay something of some sort, but they came to an agreement with these third-party. The one I have actually just posted in our Dynasty Diamonds group, which is all the diamonds in the Bombshell Dynasty. I was like, I have a problem, because I just redid my coach training, and I want to do. Yeah, see, I'm going to tell you, Hootsuite's not amazing. I had Sendable. I was doing Sendable because I preferred it over Hootsuite, but then Sendable started also limiting characters. So you can't do super long posts. So I found I went to the Dynasty Diamonds. I started asking around, and I found Postcron, POSTCRON. And it allows you to schedule like as long as the post as you want. There's no limitation in text. It allows you to add multiple images into one post. It doesn't put the images in like separately. You know how they put them on separately? Puts them all in the same image. So it's like, I was like, oh, finally, like it was the best thing ever. And you can have up to 7. Yeah. Okay. So you're using it already, Jen? Do you like it? I just started
using it because I couldn't figure out, and I don't even know if it's possible, to use Hootsuite for event pages. So I'm doing an online business expo. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know. I just didn't waste my time, and I found Postcron to be much easier. But I do like using Hootsuite for all of my challenge groups. It's been really helpful.
Yeah, Postcron has you can do events, so it really has that flexibility. And also actually it allows you to put your watermark. If you have a watermark, like a logo, like Ashley does, I do, or you have a team logo, you can have it put on every image that posts in your challenge groups, and it automatically will do it. You can turn it on and off. You get a decision. And also you can have it upload. Right now I'm working on transferring all my posts into these graphs, and I have the template of the graph for people that are interested in forming their templates for their scripts. I was just talking about this with my new coaches on our new coach training call. And I'm doing this to help simplify your lives as coaches. And what you're going to do, you can literally bulk upload, a week at a time or 30 days at a time, drag and drop into, and then go in and kind of tweak what you want. And then that's like time management miracle right there. And it's, so you do it like an 8-column thing. And I put all the images in an open public account on Flickr, and that's where you will pull the images from. So yeah, I fell in love with Postcron last week, clearly. So that's my point on that, because Hootsuite and Sendable, both, they limit your characters and they post your images chunked out, and they also don't give you an I don't know if Hootsuite does, but Sendable doesn't always give you an option to whether it shortens it to a bit.ly link. And Facebook now, if you post bit.ly links, they're dinging you. Like they'll sometimes, because I've been, I'm a big bit.ly user. You got to watch, if I put them in my ads, they won't approve my ads for them anymore. So I have to use, I just use smaller, just like Google URL, smaller things. And what Ashley was referring to, not for notifications, but the Facebook newsfeed killer. If you guys use Chrome as your browser, it's just called, I actually was literally just putting it up on my Chrome like this evening. It's called Facebook newsfeed killer. You'll see it's the one that has like more ratings than, there's like another random one, but it has like two reviews. I wouldn't go there with that one. The Facebook newsfeed killer, it's nice because what it does, it doesn't turn off your notifications. What it does, it turns off your time. That's, the evil scroll you get sucked into. It turns that off. Turn that off during your power hour. So you don't get, distracted by what you see in your newsfeed. Oh, there's something that would be great for a post or whatever. Or, oh, wait, I want to look at that article. Like just the silly things. Or, oh my gosh, look at that picture of that baby. So cute. Oh, London looks so cute today. You want to put that up. It literally blocks your scroll out, and it says, do not get distracted in place of it. So that's kind of cool. And then you can turn it off when you're done and you scroll all you want. If your power hour is done, you've done what you had to do. And like Ashley was showing her calendar, that's similar to what I was showing you guys last week, the same thing. It's just like that. The more intentional you are, and like I said, I wish I could grow up and be like Ashley and Sarah, just with my posts, having more intentional posting. That's just not my style. And you'll find that there's coaches like Amy Silverman, everything she posts is off the fly. She doesn't plan anything. She just posts when she posts. She just posts whatever she has. She doesn't plan anything. So every coach has their own thing. Don't feel like you have to plan. But what I will say is I feel like it's much better. You do have to plan in the way, like Ashley was saying, Katie sell it. Yeah, everybody's like, "What has Katie manage everything?" I'm like, no, she's totally on the fly. Like Katie is so not planned on any level. People are like, "What's her secret?" I'm like, she's just Katie. That's Katie. Like Katie's like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do my colon because I don't like really have like the structure." But you have to be the more intentional you are with going and targeting in, like, okay, this 2 weeks I'm going to really talk about the working out, and those 2 weeks I'm really going to talk about coach life and the freedom I have versus, going that 9 to 5, not having to, if I want to pick up and take a vacation and having that extra spending money to go and do something, pay for date night or whatever. That's what, those things are what are your jabs for your right hook when you go and post that invite on your Facebook. Right. So, and I was always like, I did fly posts. I felt like I wasn't really successful with mine. Well, I mean, I was, because otherwise I wouldn't be where I am. But when I got more intentional, I've noticed a huge shift in my business.
I heard Melanie, I think it was when she did her like dream team training in Pittsburgh. I don't know when that was, but anyway, this is a great idea, and I'm trying to do this, but I haven't gotten there yet. So each month her challenge group and her like coach advertisement is a theme. So say it's busy moms build a business or busy moms lose weight. So that whole month, every post that she kind of makes is about being busy, being a busy mom and fitting her workouts in, being a busy mom and still eating healthy, being a busy mom and building a business. And so she is like, every post she does is about that theme. And then she has these advertisements that also tie into that theme. And each month is a different theme. And I thought that was genius, but I still haven't gotten my shit together to kind of do something like that. But that's the goal.
Right. Well, and that's really specific to her niche market as well. So that's super like, she's really good for that. And if you look at her page, you can kind of like pick it up too, if you look through her page and coordinate with her blog posts. But besides that, I don't think there was anything else. Did anybody else have anything to add? No? Oh, and another thing that I have this is like a hit or miss with me that I use, because I am a pen and paper girl. I have something that I do for my like page that I do for planning, because I do like to sometimes have some type of, I spilled Shakeology all over my shit yesterday. It was like a freaking, like literally, like I have like chocolate on everything. AKA don't have Shakeology near your computer. So I have a Facebook schedule. See that? And what it is, it has, and then you can actually track what your likes, your shares, and so you can see where you were getting the most engagement if you want to track. And this is where I list actually I should put my scheduled times as like, I don't really schedule. I try to schedule as little as possible, because I know that the more scheduled posts don't get as much, even if you schedule them on Facebook. But I do have to schedule some things, because that's just how life is. And as a mom, it's just not possible. But, and then what time I actually do post it, just to see where I'm like, if I'm really hit or miss with my peak times, because I've actually been trending my page for the past few weeks, and I'm pretty much narrowed down so I have like Fitness Friday, Tasty Tuesday. I always do a Wisdom Wednesday, a Flex Friday or a Fitness Friday. So, but like, I really find this, of course, I have not like moved on to the evaluating part, but like this really helps me just with my business page. My personal page, I like to keep it more not so structured, because it's more personal. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course I can post this in the group for you guys. And then I also have things for people who blog, and I have so things like that. Maybe I'll just make a little folder with this stuff on Google Drive, and then you guys can kind of pick around in it. Because I know there's even like I have something for Instagram as well, for people to do Instagram. I'm just not an Instagrammer, so I don't need, like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I'm like, that's like foreign to me. So I'll post that stuff for you guys. Okay, just give me till the week, like through the weekend, to get that up, because I'm like dying tonight. Okay. All right, guys. Well, looks good. And I will thank you. And thank you for an awesome call, Ashley, as per usual.